Hello guys, Oscar here, and welcome to our honestly somewhat late spooky video. And I know it's been about 3 weeks since Halloween, but in my opinion, spooky season ends on October 31st and starts on November 1st, alright? There is no end and there is no start. Well, I just said it. Well, it goes all year, basically, that's what I'm saying. So I know this video is late, but hopefully it finds some use, and still, it's pretty good building skills. Anyway, it's not even really like specifically Halloween, but I thought I'd do a building tutorial today, and because the main reason I started redstone tutorials was to get better at redstone. And while I'm not getting rid of the redstone tutorials. Okay, don't get that idea. But I'm gonna do building too, because building is sort of my strong point. I can do building a lot better than I can do redstone, and so I'll do both. Number one, to help like sort of show off my skills in the building world, and then help people out and myself with the redstone world. So here are actually I don't know if it's 5, I just kind of put them in. Well, here are some spooky building tips and tricks, and just basic ways to make like a better spooky environment. So number one, you should always keep, like, whoever it is that what is it, like if you're in a map, like whoever your player is should never it shouldn't be expected what happens. Like a good example of that is a hidden armor stand right here. Like, it's not, I mean, if you look at it, it's not a scary thing, but like you just sort of turn around and you're like, whoa, okay, there's something there. And these are, like, a lot of people think, oh, it's an armor stand, it's not super adept, but I mean, that's pretty good, right? Like, just not even looking around. And over here, who's that? It's more like, this is another way to build it, sort of a Slenderman kind of style. And it doesn't look as good as I thought it would because I turned my brightness down to gloomy, but if you turn your brightness up high, it can sort of, this kind of torch method, it'll illuminate his face really well, and it'll look almost like a ghost or something. Another trick that I often use in building is as you can see right here, it's never a uniform thing. Like right here, the paths and this is a sort of a general building tip, but it's just for almost all builds, but especially for like spooky builds, like, keep it all uneven. Don't have anything like uniform. And then things like chests right here, or things like chests, anvils, crafting tables, all that kind of thing. It's not normal, and people get a little bit weirded out by it. It looks alright too, right? It just looks pretty cool. Okay, yeah. Third thing to do is always, like, spice up your builds. Don't just have it like, never just have it like a path. You know, for example, if I'm building this path, like say it's through a forest, never just make it a path. Just like add stuff to it all the time. Like right here, I picked this swamp because it's got the vines. I added these there's just little things. Like, this is just 2 blocks. It's from bloom bloom, and then there we've got 2 spider webs or 2 cobwebs, and they look really good. But just little things to look at. Like, if I didn't have those there, it'd just be a regular tree. But those 2 things just add just one little element that makes it different. And among that, you can build your own things. Like right here, I have just the randomly placed walls that they're almost like a broken down wall. Like, if this was once a like flourishing pathway, now it's all broken down with the things and the walls. And then yeah, it just adds sort of a layer of like broken downness, and like making it sort of, I don't really know how to describe it. It's sort of like a haunted castle kind of feel. Fourth, I would say lighting. That's a really big one, because there's a big difference between something like, for example, if like there's just warm lighting and cold lighting, right? If you've heard of that, like with warm lighting, everything's a lot more orange, and it's really just changing it a little bit. But like that versus like cool lighting, which is where it's more on the blue side, that can totally change the environment of your build. So what I do for lighting, I like the red of the redstone torches, and that's kind of dim and gloomy. And then it's highlighted with these torches here, and those also add a little bit of a red, and they add sort of highlights to the light, and it's like sort of second tier lighting. And then of course these are just extra details here, these trapdoors. But best of all, you can hide things in here, in these hoppers, and this is just one way you can build like a pretty cool looking torch. And it doesn't burn. These things have been burning for a good, like, I'd say probably 3 hours that I built this. So like, the fire doesn't spread unless there's something like right there, like where my crosshairs are. And so lighting, that's a huge thing. Like, not only, like, if you like imagine this like in the daytime, right? That would just be It'd be so much lighter, so much more comfortable. It just looked like an old abandoned path. But when it's in the dark like this, with the things like this, it's really kind of scary. Not really scary, but it's like spooky. I'm just gonna say that a lot. And here we have more vines and more cobwebs. Like this just makes the tree different. Like this, like usually a swamp tree will have just a couple blocks of vines and then obviously no cobwebs. But when you look at it, you're like, wow, that's actually a really old tree because of the vines. And then there's cobwebs that just add, like, you think of spiders, you think of just like a lot of scary stuff, like being, and like the sort of general anxiety of being like caught in one, and that just adds a little bit of a spooky feeling. And then of course these guys always help, these monsters. That was not planned actually. I thought I had this world in peaceful, but I guess not. And then, okay, finally, this isn't really a building trick, but if you're going to make like a map, or if you're going to make a video, like a sort of a, what is it? It's a video where it's like, what is it, like a roleplay video, that's what I'm looking for. You really want to change your environment. Like, I changed the night, the time to night, I changed the weather to raining, and then I turn my render distance really, really low, so you can't really see into the distance, and that just adds a whole level of like enclosedness, like dreariness, just all super dark and gloomy, and it makes it feel just like an abandoned castle, and it's just like it really adds like sort of the haunted, like worn down feel. And then one last tip, I think, yeah, I don't know how many I've done. Actually, no, I have two more. So one more tip. For building, if you're gonna make like sort of a path like this, make these like sort of what is it? They're almost like tentacles, really, and it's sort of like a Stranger Things kind of feel, you know. And it just sort of like like imagine like some supernatural being. Like why else would this just be like reaching into and being part of the landscape, right? And just adds like this, like, and it looks really cool. It just adds the sort of like you don't really know what's going on, and that's what gives you the little bit of like anxiety about it. Just enough to make it seem scary. As you guys can see, I did it on the other end of this path too. Just a little bit bigger apparently. And then one more thing, I don't know if you guys heard it or not. I don't think they did. They might have despawned, but I had witches like around. I think one was like around here. Yeah, one was, no. Okay, well anyway, I put like witches around here, and I would put bats and stuff. For some reason, I don't think with 1.14 or whichever thing this is, what is it? Yeah, 1.13. I don't think they have mob spawners anymore. So, cause I couldn't find it in the creative menu. If you guys like know what happened there, like feel free to let me know. But like bats and like just the occasional witch's laugh, those can add a lot of sort of just overall spookiness to your build. So, yeah, those are just like basically the all-around theme here. Really, like these are all examples of it, but the all-around theme is just make it a little bit different. Like people are used to they're used to having things a certain way, especially in Minecraft. And like if something's not that way, they're like it's a little bit weird, especially when they see colors like, you know, red and brown and orange and stuff like that. That reminds them of like scary movies and things like that. So the overall theme here is just make it a little bit different, so people like keeps people a little bit on edge. Like right here, this little guy, you're just like, whoa, I mean, it's not panic-inducing, but you didn't expect it, and it still makes you think like, whoa, like what else is there? And that whole overall feeling of just everything, that's what makes a build scary. That is what can make a build really Halloweeny, rather than like if it was sunny out right now, this whole build would look so much different. Like it would be so different. But like because and then yeah, combined with your like outside environment, that just the whole thing. Like think of the movies, right? Like music for that'll add a bunch. Like the lighting in there, the colors, that'll add huge things. Like those are the two biggest things in movies. Like there's plot obviously and like characters and whatnot, but the biggest thing, yeah, is just like it's the background music, which like puts you on edge, and then the scenery and like the overall colors and stuff, like the rain and lightning, you know, like it was a dark and stormy night. All of that. That's all like that's what makes something scary, is when you don't really know what to expect, and it's not like the everyday life. And that's what, and humans, like we enjoy like being in a certain area and being in a controlled environment, and that's why like things like school can, I mean obviously not assignments, but like the actual environment of school can actually be a lot more like comforting than say like an old abandoned house. You're like, you don't know what it's about, like part of it's curiosity, but part of it's also like the fight or flight. And so when you incorporate all that into a Minecraft build, now it's Minecraft, it's not a scary thing, but it can really make turn a build into something kind of spooky. So thanks for watching this. I know it's kind of a short video, but hopefully this was, and I know it's late, and I know it's late, but I said I put out a poll on my Discord, which by the way has like no members, so you guys should really like add in the comments if you want to join. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically that rounds out our video, and yeah, hopefully this whole build didn't get you guys too freaked out. But yeah, that's basically this whole video. Thanks for watching, and this has been Oscar, and I'm lagging, but I'll see you guys later. Bye.